What's up? I'm the Empathetic Chicken. And I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about some of the cards that I pulled today for myself, just in case, like, somebody else might be dealing with a similar issue, or, I don't know. I just felt the need to talk, so I'm gonna talk. But basically, like, as weird as it is, I mean, I'm not surprised at this point, but, like, the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Swords came out, like, twice in both the decks that I use, because like I have a little issue where I kind of pull from a lot of different decks, but yeah. So I mean, we got the clarification. That's definitely something I need to think about. But yeah, so like the Seven of Swords is typically like the deception card in the tarot for anybody who doesn't know. And then, I mean, so this is basically like the same cards. It's just a different, I mean, it's the same concept, but different interpretation, I guess, from the traditional one. But anywho, and then the Ace of Swords is just kind of like the clarity, having the mental clarity, like the truth. So, clearly, I've been lying to myself. But let me give you a little bit of context. I got the devil here too, which is about basically like the whole self-sabotage, keeping yourself trapped deal, like, which I do all the time, unfortunately. But I'm learning, and I see you, so like that means I'm aware. So awareness is a step in the right direction, I think. So basically, like the context, I mean, without telling the details, is like I have an issue. Well, I don't have an issue with vulnerability, but I feel like everyone else does. Like, it's kind of like a source of shame for me, and I'm not really sure exactly where that comes from. I mean, I have a few ideas. I ain't gonna go into it here, but for me, like, I value vulnerability and like feelings and being open and honest. I mean, I didn't think I wouldn't, because it's like the Seven of Swords is here. But, I mean, I value that. But then when it comes to, like, exposing that to others, that's where I kind of, like, start lying to myself and start getting, like, ashamed of my vulnerability. Because it's really scary, like, when no one else, or it feels like no one else is willing to go there. And I understand that it's very uncomfortable, clearly, because I put myself in these situations where I'm very like open and honest and vulnerable, and then like there's not really a guarantee of how it's going to be received. So like if we're stuck on, like, I still get stuck on this, like the, I guess, perception of our vulnerability. Am I saying this right? Like the response to it. If we're stuck on that and we feel like we need like the reassurance that it's alright to be like emotional or vulnerable or have issues, like, then it can really feed into that fear of being like, of needing to be ashamed of it. So like, basically, like, a situation happened where I kind of like got in my feelings and was kind of working out of like some wounding or whatever. And I got a little snappy with somebody, and I felt really guilty. So like, I apologized, like, after, like, during the incident, like, I apologized, but like then it's just like my mind starts like spinning after I leave, and I just keep like going over and over. And then like, I mean, that particular day, I was just like having some really like emotional, I don't know what was going on, but I was feeling the feelings that day. It was just a rough day. But anyway, I got in my head and I was like, let me just apologize again, because I just really wanted to like make amends. And like, you know, it bothers me when I let myself get in a space of like anger and like attack mode type deal. I don't think I'm that vicious, but like, I don't want to be vicious, but sometimes I just feel like, I don't know, I'm not really attacked, it's really just me attacking myself, like, internally. But then that can kind of, like, show up as an attack on other people. I mean, I get a little snippy when I don't mean to. But it's because I'm just, like, beating myself up inside. So anyway, I had the situation, and I reached out to apologize again, and then, like, I didn't get a response, which, I mean, if I'm honest, I didn't really say much that warranted a response. But in my head, I was just, like, telling myself, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Like, you shouldn't have reached out. You shouldn't have been vulnerable. Like, no, like, I kind of elaborated. Like, because in the moment, I couldn't really, like, express everything I felt. So, like, after I had some time to really, like, reflect, I felt like I understood, like, the reasoning behind my behavior. So I wanted to explain and, like, not to get, like, sympathy or just, like, whine or, you know, I didn't want anybody feeling sorry for me. But I just feel better when I'm, like, honest and, you know, when I own my mistakes and I'm real with myself. Like, I like to tell others, like, where I'm coming from. So they know that I'm not just being a jerk, pretty much. Which that could come from a fear of, like, you know, worrying about what people think of me. I'm sure it does. But on, like, other levels, it comes from just wanting to be genuine and honest. So, I ain't gonna go into that one because I'll think myself to death on that one, too. But anyway, I just, like, have been, like, lamenting over the fact that, like, I put myself out there and I didn't receive any kind of, like, reassurance or, you know, any response to my sharing of my feelings, which, I mean, I was fine with it. Like, I didn't need it. But, of course, I feel like my mind just wants to go to, like, seeking that validation. Like, it's just, like, I feel like it's just internalized now with just the way, basically, if you watch my other videos, like, how I talk about, like, society's influence and how we just kind of, like, look for that, like, outside things to make us feel whole, that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. So basically, I feel like the lie in here to myself is that it's shameful to open up and be, like, true to myself and vulnerable, when really that's not the case. Like, I don't believe that, really. It's just coming from, like, a place of wondering, like, worrying about what other people think and how they receive me. Oh God, sorry. So basically, I just wrote myself a little letter to remind me, like, if I'm ever, I mean, I'm gonna be in this situation again probably, because I just, my head, I'm sorry, I love your head, but you get a little extra sometimes. But I said, yourself, if you're worrying about how someone else perceives your vulnerability and honesty, it means you aren't being true to yourself. It shouldn't and doesn't matter how you are received as long as you are showing up authentically. You can't control how others perceive you, so it's not worth your energy. Focus instead on how brave and genuine you are to show up anyway. And I mean, I feel a little bit like rejecting that just because, like, I never give myself credit, but I'm changing it. Like, I am enough. Like, it's all right. I can give myself credit. Like, I really, like, because I value, like, honesty and, like, you know, being real with people. I just wish that, like, more people did it so I didn't feel so weird when I did it, which is not, like, a bad thing, I don't think. But I'm just kind of telling myself, like, the more I do it, the more it kind of gives, like, other people, like, the little beacon, be like, hey, this person's safe to, like, open up to. I mean, not that people have to tell me anything or, like, have to, you know, they don't got to take the mask off. But, like, at least I know that I'm taking mine off to a degree, and I'm trying to be my authentic self, whatever that means. Like, I don't know. Just trying to reframe it so that I'm not feeling like this energy, like just hating on myself, feeling like, oh, they're gonna think this or that, or I shouldn't have said that, like, I'm stupid, like, why? Because it just puts too much power, like, outside of me. Like, I don't want to give anyone else that much power over my mindset, like, over my well-being, because I can sit here and worry and feel like, oh, well, they thought this, or they're thinking this, and blah, 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 like, all the crap, the scenarios, when, like, that's not helpful. Like, what is that gonna do? Like, it's not gonna help me. It's just gonna keep me stuck. So instead, I gotta reassure myself and be like, hey, you were honest, and like really, like I was just writing in my journal, if like I feel like I have to walk on eggshells around somebody and not like open up and do what I would normally do, like what I feel called to do, then that relationship might not be for me. Like if I can't be my true self, then it's a lie anyways. So yeah, I'm just coming to terms with the fact that it's safe to be who I am, and if people can't like receive that, then maybe those people, like maybe I'm just not for those people. Like I think there's another deck that I have. I feel like it's the Starseed Oracle. There's a card in there that says you're not for everyone. I believe it is. I don't know. I kind of want to find it now. I don't want to waste y'all's time, but I ain't worried about it because if you want to go, you can go. Where is that? No, I mean, it's really not that important, but I'm just doing it anyway, just because I want to talk. How are you guys doing? No, I just want to know if it's this deck, really. But anyway, like, I just feel like I'm tired of, like, ooh, sorry about my finger. I'm tired of just, like, freaking out all the time and worrying so much about what other people think, because it doesn't really matter. Like, one day I'm gonna be dead. Like, and that sounds morbid, but that's just what I've been telling myself. Like, is it really worth it? No. Like, is it worth stressing myself out, freaking, you know, worrying? No. I don't care. I know you in here. I know, I saw it. There it is. I knew it. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. See there? And this, I don't know how to, this ain't really a reading per se, because I'm just kind of like sharing my reflections on my day. Sorry, this is one-handed, so I'm struggling. But I think I want to read this little card, just because maybe somebody out there need to hear this. You never know. And I gotta be honest, like, this is what I deal with. Like, I'm not perfect. I might show up here like, I don't want to seem, bug, hello. I don't want to seem like I'm ever like preaching. But like, if anybody ever does think that I like have it figured out, I don't. I mean, I'm going through junk too. All right, bug, I might ask you to, oh, yeah, that works too. Just move along. All right. So, where that card at? I mean, you could probably read it. I'm going to show you the card and I'm going to read it. You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, just won't like you. But it's also filled with those who will love you fiercely. They are your people. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince others of your value. They won't ever want what you're selling. Don't try to convince them to walk alongside you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs, and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds that will take precious time to heal. You're not for them, and they're not for you. Politely wave them on and continue on your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen it by rolling yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. Pulling this card means you're being called to embrace your uniqueness, to own your weirdness. To let the world see who you really are. To reveal your multifaceted, multidimensional nature. Not to dim your light according to who is in your presence. To own all parts of yourself so that your people, the ones who are the same kind of weird as you, can recognize you when your paths crossed. Yeah, so I mean, oh, sorry, I don't know what y'all are looking at. Oh, that was another little insight I had. The real pain is you rejecting yourself. That's what is hurting so bad. Like, not what they thinking, what you already thinking, you don't even know. But anyway, that's what I'm saying here, like, whatever I was saying here. I feel like being who you are, like, truly is like that beacon for other people who are like you. Like, so don't be hiding. let it out. It's alright. Like, it's scary, but the right people will get it. Like, they'll receive you and it won't even be a question about it. Like, it's all good. Like, just, I'm really just talking to myself here, but if anybody else needed this message, like, that's all good too. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to show up, so it is what it is. Talk to you later. Good night.